Now then, welcome back to another episode of Nemsun in Utopia. Doodart's over there somewhere. Yeah, I'm just online with Doodart at the minute. He's busy doing some nuclear things. He's busy. And speaking of busy, my bees have been busy. But now I'm set up. I'm getting ready for the next stage in the project. I've streamlined this a little bit. Let me just show you. I've taken one of the centrifuges out, and now I've just got 3 centrifuges working, and it's less bulky. It gives me this walkway through it all. I've also stopped, well, look over the redstone. I've also stopped pretending to store glowstone here because I wasn't really. And also, the 4 exports are now just about everything that the bees produce. So the redstone is being exported, the lapis is being exported, the beeswax and the honey drops are being exported from the system, meaning that the system is now running very smoothly. Apart from a few drones that every now and again need getting rid of. This is actually set up to destroy drones, but the occasional one gets popped into there. I can set up another little AE system to rig it into the incinerator directly, but they're differing types of drones still, so I still have to do them by manual every now and again. But that means that my disk drive is now just 1 General Bees storage, which means all the disks I made for this place I've put away. This is an extra dimensional barrel. It was upgraded to make sure we've got it, and there's far too much redstone now, so we need to start doing things with redstone. But the other thing that we've been putting off is putting fertilizer into these machines. This machine needs fertilizer, this machine needs fertilizer. These multi-block farms all need fertilizer. The seed oil generating farm also needs fertilizer. So we need to get the fertilizer producing. And also our power source needs to be upgraded or downgraded. I'm not sure which way around you'd like to see it. I mean, I've got the lava here full up again from the lava age, but I don't really want to use lava for everything. I want to use the self-sufficient side of things. I've got this ton of lava, and it's a great source for making stuff. I mean, I've got a load of magmatic engines down here producing loads of lava power and pumping it out on the forestry channel for me. So everything forestry can be powered by that. Also got a temporary seed oil here, which is basically just making the most of the walnut seeds and just processing them. This 4 squeezers, but it seems to want to put them into this squeezer all the time. I think that's because the AE system is set up with this last. So once that overfills, then they'll start filling the other ones, and then it'll just keep going and going, so long as I'm feeding that multi-farm with fertilizer. But I want to move this system anyway. I don't really want it down here. I'm thinking down here needs to be power supply. And the power supplies I'm thinking we go with lava power, we go with peat power, and we also go with honey power. Now I'm producing a lot of honey from the bees, so let's take a quick whiz back up there. Oh yeah, Tanhan hasn't finished this. Not since Neverwinter Nights came out, the new game on the block, as it were, have I seen Tanhan on the server. He's been rather busy leveling up his character. I believe he's got quite a few levels to get. I think they can get to level 60 in that, so he's been busy doing that. But look at the exports from the bees. Now, Bowlef is also sending excess stock over here, and we're filling them up into these extra dimensional barrels. These honey drops have many uses, and one of which I'm sending them off for at the minute. This is a project that I've been working on at Spawn with MDog. And I should be releasing a video soon of the brewery at the Spawn and be doing some work on there. But right at the minute, I'm processing as much of this honey as I possibly can into liquid honey in order to get that project underway with a very good and healthy tank full starting us off. My little AE storage device over here, the 3 diamond chests worth, has been my junk storage to kind of clear out this and make sure this stays nice and clear and effective. The storage capacity on these drives is still not anywhere near max, so it's doing well, and we're receiving steady flows of materials in, and I think now, let's just check here, that I think that I can just about craft everything I could possibly need. There's a few blocks that I haven't got auto-crafted because I'm not going to need them very often, such as the actual module chamber multi-block thing itself. When I want a new one of those, I'll come and craft those manually. But the mundane stuff that I keep in the reggae chest, I say mundane, it's all pretty awesome. The stuff I keep in the reggae chest that I need to hand all the time, I'll just make auto-crafting and get that sorted. I also need to work on the thermal expansion to get these automated as well for me, auto-crafting stuff like this, because it's a bit of a pain having to still go and manually craft these things along the bottom there, and I'm using quite a bit. Also, I had a bit of a switch around from thermal expansion powered furnace to an electric furnace. The theory behind that is the electric furnace can process faster with the overclockers. It has a lot of power because I'm using these energy bridges. I'm basically converting from the large supply of MJs into EU, and it's pumping out enough EU to keep that very, very busy, very, very quick. So any demand of these 3 little processes gets done very quickly in there, and the machine can then auto-craft the rest. So far I'm pretty happy with everything that's going on. I'm happy with that over there, I'm happy with all this. I'm happy now that I've got everything I need to do AE wherever I want just by opening up my AE chest and recrafting anything that I use whenever I need, just to get a stockpile in the chest. So now we're working on forestry, more things forestry related. I'm just bouncing around on the stairs right now. I'll get these fixed one day, I think. And we need peat, I think. I need a peat bog farm. So I'm thinking that these 2 farms here are going to become peat bog farms, so I can get a load of peat bog engines set up. Now my little crafting here requires tin electrons, and I believe a peat bog also requires tin electrons, so we're going to need to go and make a load of tin electrons, which shouldn't be a problem really. Let's take a few stacks of redstone so that I've got plenty for the warlord's base. And now the thermionic fabricator got moved by Bowlef to Bowlef's area. He was the only one using them until I started doing the forestry tubes, so I'm guessing that that's why it's all over there. He removed it from in here. There was one just there. Let's bung a little bit more redstone up there for him. There we go. Not like I've got none. I might go round updating all of this system with AE at some point, but it still sort of reminds me of our early days, our stage 1 production, so I'm quite happy with it still. It still works, and I've been thinking about how to set it up, and I've been thinking about a way of setting something up at spawn that everybody could use. Most people will probably have it themselves already, but that's just the way it is. Big holes in the floor, never a good thing. Stuff falling around all over the place, not a good thing at all. It looks like there's been a fairly big explosion at Bowlef's. Oh dear. Machines along the top row there, but all of the machines along this row have gone. That's where the thermionic fabricator was. There was the purifier and that there, the thermionic fabricator around here. All gone. All blown up. Why? Ah, ha 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 ha. These combustion engines blow up if they don't receive the water they require. He's got these set up to Bowlef fuel, Bowlef water, Bowlef fuel. That's an engine. That's water. So he's feeding fuel and water into each of them. What's he got there? Water. Somehow he must have overloaded and not provided enough water. And now it looks like everything's just spitting out all over the place. Dear. Okay, well, I'll fix that with Bowlef. We could probably do with another redesign anyway. It was getting a bit cramped, like I showed you. Let me back out. The reason he switched over to the fuel was we started this over here. Look at this now. The oil spout, the oil geyser. Hey, Doodart's working on a little thing. I best not show that too much. Little spout, oil geyser. And let me run you through the factory. Factory is pretty awesome. We finished this off the other day. The alva is all up there, and they can come all the way down, and we can spread them wider as well. And all the combs just basically come straight into this large chest. And then my AE system hits. And we've got a storage bus that basically reads all of the items in the chest and uses them as he wants. We've got a squeezer for squeezing oily propolis into oil. We've got a centrifuge for centrifuging everything, and it's just automated. It just pulls it straight out of the chest and does the job. And then in here, we've got basically these monitors show that nothing is in the system, which is exactly how it should be. If there's something in this system, then there's a blockage. So you see that every now and again one will come up before it removes them. And these are basically sending them off. Honey and beeswax and propolis are just being sent straight out of the system, and the combs are all being processed. Oily combs are being processed and making oil, and the oil tank's nearly full now, which is awesome. This system powers itself as well with the oil. He's got a little refinery here, oil in one side, power in the other, fuel out the other way, and the fuel comes round and fills up this big tank. And then, of course, he can use that fuel from a liquid tesseract, which we've got set up behind here. Liquid tesseract on Bowlef fuel to power his combustion engines. So it's basically bee-powered combustion engines have just blown up Bowlef's bees. Not great. I've still got to just like finish off the outer shell of this, but we wanted to check that it was all working first and let it have a bit of stockpile. It's taken a good long while to get that fuel and to have this restocked, but it looks good now. It looks like it's filling up really well, so I'm pleased with that. I'm not so pleased that the way he rigged his engines up has blown a big hole in his facility, so we'll have to do a bit of redesign. I think we could probably redesign the whole aspect of the base to pull everything into an AI system and get sorted. But for now, that doesn't help me. It doesn't solve my problem. So I need to make myself a thermionic fabricator to make these tin tubes and get going. So I'll be doing that, I guess. So what do we need? We're going to need some brass. We've got brass stores. Bronze even. It is bronze, isn't it? Let's just check. Thermionic fabricator. Sturdy casing, which is bronze, yes. Okay, so we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bits of bronze. And what else was it? So that's that. A chest, some glass, and some gold. Easy enough. Chests will be over here. Let's take one chest. And then we'll pop open this and we'll get, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 gold. And no, not iron. Glass. 3 glass. 1 more gold there. There we go. Right, so let's see if I remember the recipe. Was that into there, those into there, that on the bottom, and those like that. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the thermionic fabricator. Let's just pop this back out and put it where it was. It's still got a power supply there, so that should work. And then we're going to need glass again, a load of glass. So let's just take a stack of glass out of the system. Look at it fill back up. It's awesome. Love it. Loving it. Loving it, I tell you. Right, so that fills up with glass. Right, so what's next? The tin. Have we got any tin yet at all? No. Okay. So let's go get some tin. We'll pop that back in there first. Tin. Yeah, we've got a bit of tin. Let's take a couple of stacks because we want a few, and a redstone that I brought over earlier. I believe that's what I need. And then let's put that there, stick all that into there, and these will go there, and that's the way that goes. So tin electron tubes, let's take a few. Oh, come on, why take, oh really, I've got to put the full recipe in. It's not like a automatic crafting of any kind. Let's take a load because we need a load of blocks for the farms themselves, and we'll need a few for the circuit boards that we're going to be putting in. So let's make a load of that up quick. Yeah, let's just stock up a bit more. We've got plenty. We'll take plenty. Right, so there we go. Okay. Now over to the farm again. Let's get these blocks made. And it's a bit more of a crafting building episode. I hope you don't mind, guys. We're just trying to get caught up with a few projects. And now I need some wood. I want to get these done as quickly as possible. 1, 2, 3. Let's get 3 stacks of that. Because I want to get the whole peat automation. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a much better way of doing things. But there's 27. That's the first one. So I'm going to need another stack of copper, and I've got all of that I need there. And I'm going to need another 27 there. So I'm going to get these farm blocks made up and installed in there, and then we're going to have 2 peat bog farms set up, and I'll go from there with you. See you in a minute. Well, there we are. It's been a little while. I've done quite a bit, including setting up the AE system around here. Ready for these 2 farms. So the 2 peat bog farms, all installed, and they have been running a while as well because I've been helping Bowlef out, sort his stuff out. And so I thought I'd show you that rather than continuing with this completely. This basically stores everything that comes from the peat farm, and also inserts, well, it will insert bog earth. So I transmit bog earth on this setting. It'll fill the barrel and then won't transmit anymore. So there'll always be just a barrel full of bog earth in the system, and this will transmit the bog earth into both of those. And somewhere in here, dirt and peat are being exported from the system. Fairly simple, I think. I still need to put fertilizer in, I believe. Yeah, I'm still going to need to put fertilizer in, so I'm going to need to make a automated fertilizer and automated bog earth, and get all of the tesseracts all set up over here. But this episode seems to be turning into more about the explosion at Bowlef's, because I've spent a couple of days now with Bowlef, which is why this video's been delayed. World load! A couple of days at Bowlef's, helping him rejig and resort his underground area. So the overground, all still the same. But what we did was we took all the bees out. I hate this door with this suit on. Right, that's enough. What we did is we basically just took all his bees out so that nothing was coming into the system, nothing was overflowing, nothing was just falling on the floor. Took everything out, stored them all away. Stored them all around in chests. There were chests lined up all over the place around here. And now I've got an AE system in here, and this is technically storage in the AE system, but it's also a help yourself output. These couple of chests, well, the chest and the safe still need removing, but this is basically an AE setup. Storage buses on the back, and I used an export to export everything from the AE system into these barrels, and then took the export away. So now there's just barrels with storage buses, and it should register that all refractory wax goes into that barrel there and send everything that way. I've also got his ender chest, which is this, will automatically go through into the system and get processed. There must just be no power going to the system right now. The only thing that we're missing is a stable power supply. What I'd like to do though is just have a quick show around. Look. Do you think it's cool? Yeah? We've got some stone bricks to put up in that corner, but that's where all his storage was, and I used import buses to bring it all down into the system. We need something to happen. Let's. I think these are full. We had another explosion with the engines, the combustion engines. He's set it up again, but he's now set it up to turn it off. So when this when this energy cell is full, it should get rid of a wire and turn off the power supply down there, which should turn off all the engines to keep this a nice stable circuit. I don't believe it was that no water went into the engines. I believe that it was the power didn't have anywhere to go, so they overheated and exploded. I think that's probably more like the case of what could have happened here at Bowlef's. But we've refixed things, rejigged things, and sorted things out. Do I have... Yeah, I can do this. Let's take this out. We'll probably install the same little power system that's underneath there, underneath this section. We've already hollowed it out ready. Let's take this one and put that one back. That should start the system up and running again, filling it all back up. So that should technically then... Oh, give me that. That should technically start this whole system pumping again. Yep. So that works nicely. He's done a good job on that. So, yeah. And this is basically powering centrifuges, and the centrifuges take all the combs out of the system and put them in there. And this is taking all of the honey and just keeping that tank absolutely full of honey. The honey tank is basically feeding in this machine over here. Let me pop this down here. Give the system some power, and we can see what we're like. So we're up to 154 of those, which is the impregnated casing? Impregnated casing, yes. We're up to quite a few of those. It should keep a stack in there and 10 in the system, but it only uses them in the fabricator when necessary, and this keeps a stock of 1 and 8. So when that gets up to 5, the fabricator should make another alvery block and put it into the system. These require the honey, they also require wood and pollen. We used the last of the pollen. One of the barrels that exploded from up here must have contained his pollen supplies. So all of his pollen went. So he's got to start producing bees that produce pollen again. And then the AE system will just keep these stacks full all the time as the carpenter works through. The AE system will keep it filled. We've got to put oak planks in there and all that. And down here we're ready to give this a bit of a power supply. So we'll have automatic alvery production over here, which is cool. We can just reach into the system and grab alvery blocks whenever we want. What else we got? Just about anything and everything that needed a home got pushed into here. He's got his laboratory set up over here now, so we've got a big multi-tank of liquid DNA with the machines, the purifier, and the synthesizer that need the power, and a furnace for popping back the empty serums when he's finished with them. It's all the sort of the laboratory experimental stuff over here, and we've gone with putting an energy cell under each. As you know, I've got far too much redstone at the minute, so I just sat around and made a few and then stuck them all on the end of my lava power supply. He's brought an Apris chest around here as well, just for random things. Well, new princesses and stuff. I guess that's something he's going to be working on in this section here. I could have that in the AE system as well, but I don't think there's any need to store bees in the AE. And this is the main storage area for the AE. Lots of empty chests right now. Junk chests, because everything junk just ended up going in here. Everything that was upstairs in the way just ended up being put into the AE system to throw it all out until we could export it up into those barrels up above. And he's even set this up now as well. So this is voiding off excess bees, and also putting bees into there. So if the bees can't go into the gene pool, I don't know if this works yet. I guess we'll find out. If the bees can't go into the gene pool, then they go to the void pipe. So he's just going to have a nice steady flow. All his drones will come down from above, from the areas, go into there, then pump out. If they can go into the DNA squishy machine, they will, and if not, they'll go to void pipe and they'll void out. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing at Bowlef's, but it looks like everything's now in control. He's now got the fuel supply set up properly, so we should be able to do that over here as well. I did make a little bit of a space in the corner for him to access, so he just needs to do that final bit again as well down here. And this is feeding power down to the two machines there, and the main AE system itself should also be getting power from this. So all in all, I think it's a good redesign. There's still going to be a few tweaks here and there. I mean, like, we know we want to automate alvery blocks, so this is the automated system for alvery. But the things we're missing are wood planks, and we're also missing oak wood. Now, both can be grabbed and crafted by hand and put into the system, no problem. But we want to automatically store it all, put it all in the system. So I'll do something with that as well to get him some wood over here for that. So that'll be that automated system. He's got his little, yeah, I've shown you that. That's the basic comb processing there, and honey drop processing to make sure that's full of honey for whenever he needs honey for anything. B&A is being dealt with there. So we've still got space in this area for other things. And I was thinking of what other bees are most valuable and what we could process. And I'm going to leave that to Bowlef to set up and get running before I start doing lots of talking about it. It's probably going to be a fairly obvious decision for the bees, the operational bees, to be very, very valuable to everybody on the server, including us. So yeah, that's that. That's this. That's all done. So now it's on to, well, back onto forestry. Now Bowlef set himself back up over here. These two farms here have a slightly odd arrangement of leaving these corner blocks. Not sure why exactly, but still doesn't matter. And once I'm feeding it regular bog earth, should just keep it going and going and going, and just keep making peat. I actually had this one on as a manual farm and this one on as a managed farm to see what the difference is. And the difference is that this one tries to place the water in stupid places, and this one I place the water for it. This one I had to change the places it put the water because it was putting them in stupid places. So with a peat bog farm, I'm guessing that the manual is better, but they've both been working exactly the same. Both had the same amount of stuff in them, and both done the same amount of work. Both went out at the same time. Both created at the same time. Down, thank you. And now I've got a nice, healthy supply of peat, ready to beam down to the engine room and set up a peat engines for. Well, it's only 1 MJ per tick, but there's no explosions. There's no nothing. So I can have that and the lava all running full whack, and you never know, maybe I'll get a mass fabricator, or matter fabricator. I can't remember whether it's called one or the other in this version of Ultimate with GregTech on hard. And then maybe once we've done with a bit of forestry, and we've got the forestry up and running, we can go on to things like GregTech and automating GregTech. I don't know if I want to do it here though. I may want to go and do it somewhere else. But automation, automation, automation. So I'm going to be working on, not this level, I'm going to be working down on this level mostly, I think, over the next few days until the next video. And this is going to be the water supply instead of having this over here, so it can craft it itself. I think I'm just going to have the Tome of Akahest. Wow. The lava age is broken. The lava's tank is not filling up fast enough again. Damn. Oh well, I can sort that out as well. So this is probably going to be using lots and lots of redstone with the Tome of Akahest to make a load of cool stuff happen. And I'll give you a quick world tour of that in a future episode. But next episode, I've already got ready next episode. The honey's stopped going from here. The honey at spawn has now all been sorted, and we're ready to release that episode. If you haven't seen M-Dog's episode already, check out his channel. You'll see that the brewery with Nemsun is on there. My point of view is my next video out, and I'll also have a little bit more coming up soon. So until then, guys, see you later.